Welcome everyone to the Big Face Show. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you're enjoying the channel, please drop a comment, because it always helps the channel. And yeah, man, we're just out here trying to help everyone succeed and everyone grow by giving good information, good content, and doing what we do. How have I been? I've had a good week, man. I've had a good couple of months. And basically, I've just come here to talk about the journey so far. It's been a wild journey because when I started it, I didn't think that I had a goal and I set my goal at like a low. One thing I've understood is never set your goals too high. Because when you set your goals too high, sometimes you can achieve it straight away. It's like having a #1 hit, but trying to get that again becomes difficult. So sometimes just set your bar where you know you can reach. Why I'm saying that is because sometimes you start things with a lot of confidence and then you can get halfway and then you lose your confidence and then you become lazy. You start not wanting to go out and actually do what you wanted, what you said you was going to do in the beginning.
I disagree. Aim for the moon, because if you don't get to the moon, you get to the sky. You're better off than the person who wants to get to the rooftop and gets halfway to the rooftop. You're always going to be better off. So you aim to the highest. Your aims must be high, because imagine what you said there. You said, aim to a realistic thing. But when you get there now, you've got your aims. What you have to now find another one. No, have one aim. Make it the highest point. You understand? And you no matter what, you drive and you drive and you drive and you achieve that. And if you don't achieve it, you get to a certain point, you still achieved more than you did if you was thinking lower.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to say that's not true. That's a good way of putting it. But again, we can aim high and we can keep aiming high. But what comes with all of that? A lot comes with that.
Dedication.
It comes with dedication.
Hard work.
Yes, hard work.
Consistency.
Yes.
Ambition.
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
Drive.
And then what about all the bad things that you have to do to keep getting there? Because there's
time.
We're not talking about time. We're talking about the people that you have to take out of certain positions to get to where you want. Because remember, you're aiming for the highest position. You understand? The only person I've heard aim for the highest position is Satan.
No.
You understand? He said to the Most High, he wants the highest position.
I'll give you a point.
No, let me reach.
No.
Because your point was good. But I believe sometimes when people go for the highest positions, you can get consumed in going for that high position. The reason why I say sometimes just aim for comfortability or something nice, because you can aim for comfortability and still reach that star. Reason why I say that is because Solomon only asked for wisdom, but he got everything in the whole package. So I'm not here, everyone's analogy is different of things, but I'm not here saying that I want to reach for that, even though I feel like I want to, and that's what I would eventually like to get to. But you have to crawl before you walk.
Knowledge is the key to success.
It is.
Knowledge. Even if you're talking biblical,
it is.
The Most High tells you, those of great intelligence.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So again, to get into a great intelligence is the highest point of level of education you can get.
Very true.
So you're going for the highest point.
But again, going for the highest point of education or level comes with different things. So we can go to school, university. Then there's college, university. Then you might say, this ain't enough. Then you go join something else. Then it gets to esoteric teachings. Then you start going above and beyond. What point is it that you're going into a different place to get to where you're going? Reality is real. You understand? So to aim for the top is a very dangerous place to go.
No, I
It is.
disagree. I
It's a dangerous
say why.
place.
Because if you look at the actual concept of time, time is endless.
Of
It doesn't
course it's
stop.
dangerous, yes.
It doesn't stop. So we should be like time.
Yes.
We should be more like time, endless, meaning that we keep growing. You don't stop. Even think about your cycle of life.
Yeah.
You start off as a baby, yeah, until you get to the highest point
Yeah.
of your adulthood,
Yeah.
and then what happens? You drop back off,
Yeah.
and you end up back to where you started as a child,
Yeah.
where you need people when you get older,
Yeah.
and you need people to wipe your bottom,
Yeah.
and you need people to take you to the toilet,
Yeah.
and things like that. But again, the cycle of life
Yeah.
is about reaching to the highest point. You don't stop as a child.
Yeah.
You keep growing.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm
And
talking
evolving.
about. And evolving
To your highest point.
to your highest point.
Yes.
So when I'm
But
saying
that's in self.
that's in self, but we
Okay.
all got to do this because
Yes.
guess what? I'll give you a great example. When I was younger, I played chess, right? And I didn't understand. I didn't have the intelligence to realize that this game I'm playing could be financially beneficial to me
Yes.
in the future.
Yeah.
I looked at it as a game and fun.
Yeah.
I got to a level that I became playing for England
Yes.
and then stopped playing it.
Yeah.
Why was that? Because I didn't have the aim of thinking I could become a world champion. I could play this professionally.
Yeah.
I could do this. I could do that. My level stopped at, oh, when I left school, done.
But I can counter that because again, I can say that you went into something that you didn't know with not the mindset of saying that this is what I wanted to do. You went into it and you learnt it and you had fun doing it. So again, it's not something that you actually wanted to do. If it was something that you wanted to do, you would have said that. Now, back to what you were saying, because I had a point before you said that. You said something. Because it's all to do with the highest point. And then you have to get help again and going back.
You're back to being a child again.
Yes, because that was different. That's what I was trying to say. Remember, you said that, yeah, and that point was good because that's going back to self. You have to reach the highest point in self, yeah, which was a good argument. But we was talking about reaching your highest point in what you want to do, which is good, and you can reach the highest point in that. But once you reach the highest point in that, which many people do, they complain. I'm not happy.
But that's different.
One thing not let me go, because they will say the money that I've got from chasing this high point, I've got it all, but I'm not happy. So you go back to the self. So the highest point is always self.
But no,
It is always self.
yeah. But what I'm saying is the analogy you gave there was good. It was a great analogy. But the ending wasn't quite right because again, somebody who gets there and they're not satisfied, that's contentment. That's something different.
How is it contentment?
Because they're not content with being at the top and getting that. They want more. So
that's reaching for the highest point.
No, that's not, because
That's
they've already
highest
got to the point. Highest point.
Again, just like you said, we should be like time, endless. So that's the reason why they're gonna keep going and going and going, and then you can become crazy.
We're talking about money and pay.
But this is what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about pay. I'm talking about self.
But that's why I started it by saying, have a goal. You understand? And go to that goal.
But that goal is yourself.
Yes, but that goal could reach a different goal. By you setting that, at least you started the motion. The life motion could just expand it. You understand? And that's what you didn't know what could happen. But you do not have to aim for the highest, because the people that have aimed for highest have gone through the craziest things or the highest of knowledge to obtain the maddest of maddest, and it was crazy.
Okay, look at, for instance, great example that you just made me think of. If you look at, like, for instance, someone like Usain Bolt, okay? Prime example about elevation, self, coming from nothing to the highest pinnacle you can have in oneself.
Yes.
Right. So, and I explain what I mean. He came from Jamaica, very poor, no funding within athletics compared to the Great Britain and Russia and these kind of countries. But because of that determination, that height he wanted to reach,
Yeah.
while everybody else trained 3 hours,
Yeah.
he did 12.
Yes.
He did 12.
Yeah.
And that 12 put him on a pinnacle above these people.
Yeah.
And he didn't stop there.
Yeah.
He decided that he wants to break records.
Yeah.
He wants to leave a legacy
Yeah.
that will always be remembered.
Yeah.
20 years later, he's been out of the sports. His record still stands today.
Of course.
That is what I'm talking about getting to the highest point.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now, he's becoming a baby again. He can't run what he used to run. He's dropping that cycle's dropped.
Of course.
So what he's done, he's been that perfect mountain. Yeah? He's been that perfect mountain, because a mountain, to get to the top, you have to go to the bottom and climb.
Of course, you have to go back up. But again, do we know that he said when he started off, I want to be the greatest?
Yes, because I watched his documentary and it was amazing, and that's what he said. He said that he come from poverty, he didn't have much, and what made it even more special, he was born with a hip dysfunction, meaning that one of his hips was up and the other one was down. That's why he used to run like this. So it means that he had a disadvantage of a runner. Nobody thought he could be a 100-meter runner. They said he would be a long distance runner.
Yeah.
So again, one self of determination,
Yeah.
and putting yourself and saying, I can do this.
Yeah.
You will achieve it, and you will do it.
But again, this is the difference. As we just got that analogy, yeah. If we break it down into bits, you said that he had all of these things, hip problems. So he was determined to say that I can do this, yeah? And he went and did it. There's levels to it, yeah? And this is what we're saying. He set his level. He went to it, he completed it, yeah? And then he went above. This is what I'm saying. It's not to go to the highest point and just to aim for it. It's to set your levels. And if you do reach the highest point, then God is great. You understand? But it's not to, some people will set the highest point and do the maddest route
No,
to get
but
there.
again, what you said is correct. It's how you get to the highest point.
Yeah.
It's not getting to the highest point. You can't get to the highest point. Like I said, I gave the analogy
Egypt
of
built in a day.
the mountain.
Yeah.
You have to get to the bottom and climb. There's levels to get to the
So
highest
that's
point.
why I said what I said.
Yes, but you said we aim too high.
Yes.
No, you can never aim too high.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do aim too high.
I always say,
Because the reason why I say that is a lot of people aim too high in the wrong things, or the things that they're not good at. If you aim high in the thing that you're good at, right at, you could succeed. Right, now you looked into the big fish. Yo, 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 yo. Hey.
what I agree with is when you said unrealistic. So when I say aim high, if you know that you're 50 years of age, right, and you want to make 20 million, the likelihood of that is not happening unless you're going to go and rob Brink's Bank.
Yeah.
So that's an unrealistic target.
Yeah.
If you're 30 and you say to yourself, I want to make a mil, it's possible. That is possible.
That's a possible target.
It's a possible target.
Very possible.
And,
Especially at the age of 30.
and each individual have their own highest point.
Very true. That's a very good statement. Yeah.
Do you understand?
And this is what
Somebody
I was trying
like
to say.
yourself,
Yes.
who is very talented,
Yeah.
naturally gifted,
Yeah.
you have an endless amount of stories you can go.
Yeah.
Like, and when I say stories, you know, like in a car
Yeah,
park,
like in the car park stories.
yeah,
Yeah. Floors.
your level is endless.
Yeah.
You're great at music.
Yeah.
You're not good, you're great at music. You're great at naturally talking. You're great at meeting and speaking with people. Everything you do
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So again, your level of height is different from somebody else's level of height. So for me, when you said that,
Yeah.
I'll disagree straight away, because
Yeah.
your level of height is high.
Yeah, but you see, like that, thanks for saying that at the end of the day, and I appreciate it. But you see, in how I think, that's good. For me to hear that from other people, love it all day. But for me to think about that about myself sometimes, I feel like it's a good thing and it can be a negative. Because you can get so caught up in yourself that you start to, you understand?
But that's not who you are. Even when people have been saying that for years,
Yeah, I
you
know,
don't
'cause-
get wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
This is what makes you that level.
Okay.
Once you get to that level, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a
yeah.
natural thing.
Yeah.
But it's when you're trying to get to that level and it's not natural, it's
Yeah.
above you.
That's a whole madness.
It's a whole madness and
Yeah.
it becomes unrealistic. As I said, I agreed with you there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so the argument I'd say,
Yeah.
you know, you sold
Hey, look
yourself
out for
short.
what yeah, man. That's what I've been doing this year. As I said, just staying busy. I'm working so hard. And for me, if I can end this year with a on a positive note, with the mindset that I set from the beginning, I know that I can do good. And I know that I can excel. So reason why I'm doing this video is just to show people, when you start something, people always say negative stuff, or they say stuff like how you gonna do it, or they just say stupid stuff. What you gotta do is actually do it. Go out there, buy your equipment, buy everything that you need, your mics, your stands, buy your own lights. The best thing about life is that when people start believing in you, they actually start helping you. And I want to big up one of my girl brethrens, really nice brethren, you know. For my birthday, she bought me a nice set of lights. And I'm not saying it in a way that you should beg people for things, because man ain't here to beg for nothing. But it's showing you that when people actually start believing in you, they will help you get to where you're going. They will drive you, send you positive words every day. And this is the stage where I'm at. And I gotta tell you guys that ain't trying it. Try this out. Try anything out. Whatever skill that you're good at and you know you can do, just keep trying it and keep doing it. Don't focus on nobody else but yourself. Help always comes along the way. God is good. Always sends a provider. Always sends a provider.
Every day he was sleeping under the train station.
Yeah.
And I felt sorry for him. So I'd get him a coffee.
Yeah.
And then a little $5 here and there.
Yeah.
And then a $10.
Yeah.
And I knew that he was a junkie, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I didn't really want to give him money, but sometimes you just got to give and just forget what they're going to do with it.
That's true.
Right? That's not our business.
No.
You understand? If you're going to give from the heart. Don't give. You just
no, it's true. If you're going to share.
So,
don't just do it and try to take back.
And then it's only recently that he turned around to me and he goes, see, I can't lie to you. No.
Yeah.
I said, why? He said, I got flat.
And you know what? Sometimes it's good to hear that, but this is my point. What you just said was good, because I'm making this homeless video, I'm making this project, and I'm learning that a lot of people are not homeless. So sometimes you might see statistics and you might see a lot of homeless people out in London. No, a lot of them are just trapped in a mindset. Some of them are just hustling and they don't know how to get back into normal society. And I'm learning that. So that this is why I'm even making this video, because I want people to be aware of these things. Some people are truly trapped in a mindset, and some people are really struggling. I've met some people that are really sleeping in tents. They don't have houses. And I've got an interview, if you go and watch it, with Ashley on my page. Ashley's one of them people. He's got a house, but his mindset is still homeless. But he's an artist. He draws pictures. He does wonderful art, and he sells his art outside stations. And you know, as he told me, he still smokes spice and all of these things. So the mindset is still there, but he's trying. So the Homeless 2025 experience is just teaching people and waking people up, because I'm trying to not stop, because I can't stop anything, but I can try prevent the younger generation from going into this. So I do ask them questions like, what would you tell a younger homeless person that's looking to go on this route, you know? And one man said, I would tell him to get out as quick as they can. So people do care. M&F, you know, Monday football nights, It's not gonna stop. That's every Monday. Hopefully, not hopefully, it will get bigger and better. Bigger stadiums. Soon we're gonna start doing playoffs with different teams. Monday football night news will come soon as well. So that will be a panel of a couple of my friends, a couple of different people, or a couple guests, where they talk about football and they discuss, you know, different signings, different tactics, different whatever's going on in football. So if you're into that stuff, this is where you gotta come in, and this is where it's gonna be live, because it's gonna be live over here. It's gonna be a lot of fun, you know, because I'm not bringing you no boring people. This year, life, large, big, movie. You feel me? Different settings. And I've got many more projects. And hopefully this year we keep working, keep smashing out our goals. And hopefully you see us in the studio, proper studios. Dream big. Reach for the stars, reach for the highest point. You understand? But as I said, be careful on how you get there. Careful on how you get there. You know, God is great. They say that lies come up the elevator, but the truth comes up the stairs. You know? So that's said for a reason. You know, our fathers before us and mothers before us don't say these old things to us for no reason. The world doesn't change, so what was said before is said today.
And one thing I'd like to say, failure is to a fool who doesn't try.
Yes. Always try, always fail. Get back up. You understand? The Big Face Show, I like to big up everybody that's helped me along the way. Everyone that's inspired me. Everyone that's just, you know, that's keeping me going. And just telling me, appreciating what I'm doing. So, yeah, man, do what you love, man. And another message is, no matter how long it takes you to get there, once you get there, just be happy, you know? Yeah, Big Face Show. Bam, big up Della. We out.
Yeah.